Every AI coding tool explained. 2 years ago, AI coding tools were just fancy autocomplete. They'd suggest the next line and occasionally get it right. Today, they write entire features, debug entire code bases, and fix real GitHub issues autonomously without you touching a single key. And somehow, choosing between them has become harder than learning to code in the first place. So here's every major AI coding tool, explained simply. But first, a quick reframe, because AI coding tool in 2026 doesn't mean one thing anymore. The category has split into 3 very different types: IDE extensions that plug into your existing editor and help you write faster, dedicated AI native editors that rebuild the entire coding environment around AI, and terminal agents that take a task, disappear into your project, and come back with the work done. Same label. 3 completely different products. Knowing which type you actually need is more important than knowing which brand is most popular. GitHub Copilot, the one everyone already has. GitHub Copilot launched in 2021 as the first mainstream AI coding assistant. Built by Microsoft and GitHub, trained on billions of lines of public code, it started as inline autocomplete, a tool that watched what you were typing and suggested what came next. Simple, useful, occasionally wrong in ways that were impossible to predict. But in 2025 and 2026, Copilot grew up. It now includes agent mode, chat, code review, and integrations across VS Code, JetBrains, Visual Studio, and Eclipse. Over 20 million developers use it, more than any other tool on this list. The pricing is $10 a month for individuals, though GitHub switched to usage-based flex billing in June 2026, which means the $10 gets you started, but heavy agent use costs extra. That announcement caused immediate backlash from developers who liked knowing exactly what they'd pay each month. Classic. The biggest advantage is zero friction. If your company already uses GitHub Enterprise, Copilot is probably already approved by security, already in the procurement system, and already covered under the existing agreement. It's the enterprise default not because it's the best at everything. It isn't one, but because it's the safest, least disruptive path for large organizations that don't want to explain a new vendor to 3 different approval committees. Cursor, the one developers actually pay for out-of-pocket. Cursor is an AI-native fork of VS Code, built from the ground up around the idea that the editor itself should be intelligent, not just the plugin inside it. Launched by AnySphere, it became the tool developers quietly paid for with their own money, even when their employer had already paid for Copilot. That's actually a metric worth paying attention to. When engineers spend personal money on a competing tool, something real is happening. The flagship feature is Composer, an AI agent that edits across multiple files simultaneously, understands your entire project context, and runs in parallel agents on different parts of a problem at once. Composer 2.5, launched in 2026, made this process noticeably more stable than before. The community around Cursor is also the largest of any AI coding tool, which means more tutorials, more integrations, more people who've already solved the problem you're currently stuck on. Pricing is $20 a month for Pro. The trade-off is procurement. Getting Cursor approved in a large enterprise is slower than Copilot because it's a newer vendor that security teams haven't fully evaluated yet. But for individual developers and small teams, it's widely considered the best single tool value at any price. Claude Code, the one that scores highest on the hard problems. Claude Code is different from everything else on this list. It's not an editor. It's not a plugin. It's a terminal-based autonomous coding agent, meaning you install it, point it at your project, and give it a task in plain English from the command line. It reads your files, writes your files, runs commands, iterates on errors, and comes back with work done. The reasoning quality is the key difference. Claude Opus 4.5 scores 80.9% on SWE-Bench Verified, the benchmark that measures an AI's ability to fix real GitHub issues on real code bases, not toy problems designed to make the numbers look good. That's the highest score of any AI coding tool as of mid-2026. Claude Code hit $1 billion in annualized run rate within 6 months of launch and now holds 42% of enterprise coding workloads, the highest of any platform. The pricing is usage-based, billed through Anthropic's API, which means heavy users can find costs unpredictable compared to a flat monthly subscription. The power combo that most senior developers land on is pairing Cursor for daily in-editor work with Claude Code for the genuinely hard tasks, complex debugging, code-based migrations, multi-service problems where reasoning quality matters more than interface smoothness. Two tools, not one. Windsurf, the one that became free and then got acquired. Windsurf started as Codium, a free AI coding extension. Then it rebuilt itself as an AI-native VS Code fork, competing directly with Cursor. Then, in 2025, OpenAI acquired it, which is an interesting decision for a company that also makes its own competing coding tool. In June 2026, Windsurf rebranded to Devon Desktop, integrating a cloud agent directly inside the editor for one-click delegation of tasks to a remote virtual machine. The flagship agent is Cascade, which understands the codebase, makes multi-file changes, runs terminal commands, auto-fixes errors, and remembers preferences across sessions. Windsurf also has code maps, AI annotated visual code navigation, which has no direct equivalent in Cursor or Copilot and is genuinely useful for understanding unfamiliar code bases fast. The free tier is the most generous among AI coding editors. Unlimited tab completions, access to Cascade agent mode, and a real number of premium model requests, not a crippled trial. Developers new to AI-assisted coding consistently find Windsurf the easiest onboarding experience of any tool in this category. The paid Pro plan raised from $15 to $20 a month in May 2026, matching Cursor's pricing, which makes the choice between the two mostly a question of which interface you prefer. Cline, the one for developers who want to own their stack. Cline is open source, Apache 2.0 licensed, and built around one core idea: bring your own key. You connect whatever AI model you want: Anthropic, OpenAI, Google Gemini, AWS Bedrock, local models through Allama, and Cline handles the agentic layer. For developers working with sensitive code that can't leave their infrastructure, Cline running on a local model through Allama is the only mainstream option that keeps every token on your own hardware. No external API call, no data leaving your desk. Plan and act mode lets the agent propose a plan you can review and edit before it touches any files, which is a useful safety feature for anyone who's watched an AI confidently delete the wrong thing at 11 p.m. The trade-off is that managing API costs yourself requires attention. Flat-rate tools are predictable, bring your own key costs move with usage, and heavy sessions can add up faster than expected. Google Antigravity, the new one. Nobody expected Google's entry into the AI coding IDE space, launched as Antigravity 2.0 in May 2026, running on Gemini 3.5 Flash. It's currently the only tool combining multi-agent orchestration, a built-in Chromium browser, dynamic subagents, scheduled background tasks, and a public SDK for hosting custom agents, all in one environment. For a tool that's still relatively new, the feature list is unusually ambitious. It's Google's version of showing up to the race with a concept car instead of a production vehicle. The multi-agent approach means Antigravity can split a large task across several specialized agents working in parallel, one handling the front end, one handling the back end, one handling tests, and coordinate the output. It's still early, and the developer community around it is smaller than Cursor or Copilot, but Google building its own AI native coding IDE instead of just a Copilot-style plugin signals that the search giant is taking this category seriously for the first time. Quick question: are you already using any of these tools day-to-day, or does the idea of an AI rewriting your code while you watch still make you slightly nervous? Drop it in the comments. And if this is finally making the AI coding landscape make sense, the like button genuinely helps the channel. The honest reality check: 84% of developers use or plan to use AI coding tools in 2026, but only 29% trust the output to be accurate without checking, which means the most expensive mistake you can make is treating any of these tools like a finished product. The best developers in 2026 aren't the ones who found the one perfect tool. They're the ones who know which tool to reach for on which kind of problem. Small tasks: a function, a type fix, a test, Cursor or Copilot inline, fast feedback, stays in your flow. Medium tasks: refactoring a module, updating an API across 5 files, Cursor Composer or Copilot agent mode. Large tasks: migrating a code base, hunting a cross-service bug, writing comprehensive test suites, Claude Code in the terminal. That's every AI coding tool explained, from the enterprise default nobody questions, to the terminal agent scoring highest on the hardest problems, to the open source option that gives you full control, to Google's ambitious new entry that arrived quietly and brought a lot of features with it. Which combination are you running? Drop it in the comments. If this finally made the AI coding landscape make sense, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now here's the thing. Every one of these tools is only as smart as the AI model powering it underneath. Claude Opus, Gemini Flash, GPT-5, those names keep appearing. But most people have no idea what actually makes one model better than another for code specifically. That's exactly what we're covering next. Every AI model explained simply what each one does, why it matters, and which ones are actually worth paying attention to in 2026. Click the video on screen right now, and I'll see you there.